Hello, this is a tutorial on doing bass drops in FL Studio. First of all, what is a bass drop? A bass drop is a technique that is used in extremely heavy metal, like modern bands like Black Dahlia Murder and like metalcore and deathcore bands and the like, where you have a very, very low frequency sine wave coupled with the beginning of, let's say, like a break in a song. And what that does is it gives you this powerful booming bass note in the background that sounds really kick-ass. I'm sure a lot of people have heard it, but nobody really knows. Well, some people know how to do it, obviously, but I'm going to teach you how to do it in the most simple way possible in FL Studio. So what I have here, hopefully you can see the screen right now, I've got some programmed drums and some programmed bass and really cheap programmed guitar. This isn't really any audio. There's no audio in this because it's just an example to showcase the bass drop technique. So let's listen to it a bit without the actual bass drop. Yeah, so it's a very cheap kind of metalcore break. So let's think about how we're going to achieve the bass drop effect. What we need is something that goes below the actual range of the bass in the song, like the electric bass. So we need to go down to the very lowest possible point in the human hearing range in terms of frequency, which is 20 Hertz. So what we need to do is start off with a sine wave at, well, let's say this song is in D right now. The guitar is playing a continuous ostinato D pattern. So we're going to start with a sine wave and the note of D, and then slide down below the audible range. It's very, very unlikely that you'll be able to hear this over your speakers through YouTube, but if you do it properly on your computer and you have really good bass speakers, you'll be able to hear it, and it's totally kick-ass. So I've already done it here just to test it out, and it works. I'm going to do it again just to showcase how it's done. So let's load another one of these. This is the 3x OSC. I don't know what it's actually called, but it's the simplest synthesizer in FL Studio, which gives you a choice of a couple of waveforms. So we're going to turn down the volume on all the other waveforms and just focus on the first sine wave. And this is what it sounds like. It's a pure tone. It's the simplest possible tone, just a sine wave. So let's open the piano roll for it. Keep in mind we're on pattern 5 right now, and the bass and all the other stuff is on pattern 1, 2, and 3. So we're on 5 now, and let's... yeah, so that's too high, because you can still kind of hear it within the normal range of the song. So let's go even lower. So this is a D note that's below, well, kind of at the same level as the actual bass guitar. So we're going to put it in here. You probably can't hear it, but if you're doing the tutorial at the same time, you'll be able to hear it when you do it. So what are we going to do now? We're going to slide this note down. So we're going to right-click on this gray part here. We're going to choose Channel Pitch. By the way, this menu may not appear on your computer on YouTube because there's a bug with my screen recording software. So right-click the gray area and choose Channel Pitch. First of all, just draw a line to make sure it starts at D, and then just slide down. First of all, zoom out a bit, so you slide down quite a lot, and then zoom, and then slide down. And that should be a very powerful kind of dubstep bass drop. And slide it down all the way underneath the audible range until it disappears. And this will fill up all that area of the spectrum that's below the song, where you can create this booming noise that sounds really evil and hardcore. And totally kick-ass. Let's slide it down even more until it completely disappears. So keep in mind, you're not lowering the volume on this. You're just bringing it way low until you can't hear it anymore. Then, of course, the note stops, so it doesn't stay in the background too much. And make sure it doesn't slide down too quickly, or you won't be able to hear it, because in the mix, in the actual mix, it's very hard to hear below that actual D note. So what you want to do is make sure it slides down slowly, because you'll be able to hear it. You'll be able to hear the start of the slide, and then it'll just phase out. But you want to be able to hear that booming noise. And then what you do is you put it at the beginning of the actual break, Usually what you would do in this situation is you have the start of the break, and it starts with a cymbal and bass drum hit, and you want to actually have that very first hit louder, so it's like a booming start. So let's put 2 cymbals on this. Hold on. Yeah, like that. Actually, let's move this over to the China cymbal. Okay, so on our very first note right now, we're going to want to have the bass drop. And you won't be able to hear this over YouTube, but yeah, it sounds pretty cool. It's totally badass. But there's a very important thing that you need to remember. Let's listen to it again for a second. When the bass drop comes in, the volume meter goes all the way to maximum. It peaks completely. So that bass note, because you have to bring it up so high so you can hear it in the mix, it starts distorting. And you don't want any distortion in your song, so you want to make sure it almost kind of peaks, but it really doesn't. Otherwise, let's say on a system without subwoofer, that bass frequency might suck away all the energy from the rest of the spectrum. So what you want to do is you want to limit it. Well, that's what I do. I'm sure there's other techniques as well. But yeah, limit it